Arsenal are on the brink of a creative explosion, a complete change in the forward line. Massive news dropped in the last 24 hours. Of course, hit that like button. We'll talk about the Viktor Gyökeres deal that is very close to Arsenal, as it is reported the Eze news that Fabrizio Romano dropped and the Rodrygo situation that is evolving by the day or by the hour. Hit the like button underneath the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the way to 50K with your help, of course. Put a comment underneath the video. Let me know what you guys think. But it is reported that Viktor Gyökeres is getting closer to Arsenal, a complete agreement, a verbal agreement with the Sporting striker Viktor Gyökeres. The deal is now advancing as L'Equipe has reported Arsenal might get their needed forward that they want. Of course, the saga that has been going between Cisco and Gyökeres, is it going to be Cisco or Gyökeres? A lot of Arsenal fans wanted Gyökeres. I know that a lot of you wanted Gyökeres, but also some of you wanted Cisco, but it looks like it might be actually the Swede that joins Arsenal and joins the Arteta team. That is what is needed at Arsenal. That is my opinion personally, that I think Viktor Gyökeres is what Arsenal needs today. Maybe Cisco later in his career will be the striker that they want. But at the current moment, I believe that Viktor Gyökeres comes to the team and score abundance of goal, in my opinion. 54 goals last season, Viktor Gyökeres, proven finisher, someone that is physically very, very strong, can add a lot to the Arsenal team up top. Will battle it with Kai Havertz, as we know that it is reported by The Athletic that Kai Havertz might be the starting striker, but I believe that Viktor Gyökeres will take that place because he's a better striker. Kai Havertz is not a striker. He might be playing in the middle or left or somewhere else other than a striker if they sign Viktor Gyökeres. It is actually also reported that today, but that was yesterday, that the 60 million euros, 51 million pounds release clause is active today. The official clause is 100 million, but from July 1st, if any club makes an offer, the agent makes 10%, and they want to avoid that, probably the Sporting Lisbon people. And all I have to say is, I believe that this is the right move for Arsenal. I know that. Let me know in the chat if you believe this is the right move. Finally, positive news in the attack for Arsenal fans, of course, that have been wanting a deal to be done in the forward line after completing the Norgard deal, the Kepa deal. Of course, they are actually in negotiation with Valencia for Mosquera. Of course, the defender that will be a backup for William Saliba, a right-sided centre-back that can play the ball. But all I have to say about this is, Viktor Gyökeres comes to Arsenal along with the other signings that they are linked to, and Arsenal become one of the favorites to win the Premier League. A lot of people put them as favorites to win the Premier League if they sign the likes of Eze, Rodrygo, and Viktor Gyökeres. Some people say they won't be favorites to win the league. It doesn't matter who they sign. We'll have to wait and see which striker do Liverpool sign. Is it going to be Isak? We don't know yet. The deal with Isak is complicated as it is reported, and we don't know what is going to happen there. But Arsenal must add a lot of depth in their, a lot of force in their attack, along with the depth of the Kai Havertz, the Martinellis, the Trossards, of course. There is the other news, of course, about the Rodrygo news. Graham Bailey has said that from what he's hearing, he is that Rodrygo would want to leave Real Madrid. They are still focused in the Club World Cup. They are in the quarterfinal after beating Juventus yesterday, of course. But he started on the bench again, so I think he's not going to be happy. And he would want to leave Real Madrid as soon as possible because that is a World Cup year, and he wants to go to a team where he plays a lot of minutes to be able to put his name on the Brazil sheet coming in the World Cup in the year coming in America. Arsenal are, at the current moment, Arsenal are the main destination. There is no one else that is in for Rodrygo. Man City were reported that they're in for Rodrygo, but it changed because it was rubbish that they're in for Rodrygo. Of course, Man City. Arsenal are the only team at the current moment that are in for Rodrygo. As it is reported, the price is 75 million pounds, which is so cheap for a winger of his quality. Of course, he adds a lot of experience there, even though he's young, but he played in the Champions League, he won La Liga. He was crucial and essential for Real Madrid for winning multiple competitions and multiple trophies, of course. And as it is reported, which is a lot of people have actually inquired about, that the wages of Rodrygo is something that Arsenal will be scared of. And it is reported that they won't. They will pay him what he wants. They will pay him the wages that he wants. He's going to come to Arsenal as the marquee signing, probably, of this transfer window for them. If not for the Premier League, there is the Wirtz versus Rodrygo comparison. I want to know in the comment section, and just to be honest, which one is a bigger signing? Forget the price and let me know in the comment section. Do you think it's Wirtz for Liverpool or Rodrygo for Arsenal? Which one is the bigger signing for each club? I know now some people change their opinion because Rodrygo has been on the bench. He didn't play a lot last season. But if I asked you last January, which signing would make a bigger impact or would make a bigger earthquake in the Premier League, Rodrygo to any Premier League club or Wirtz? I believe that the majority will say Rodrygo. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. This massive news update about Rodrygo. As it yesterday, he started on the bench for the third game in a row. Of course, he is set to confirm his intention when Real Madrid return from the World Cup. There is people that are waiting for his decision, but I believe that is just my opinion, that Rodrygo will be leaving Real Madrid because he hasn't started and he is not, like, he's not someone that will accept sitting on the bench. He goes to Arsenal, becomes a starting left winger right away. Nobody can compete with him from the likes of Martinelli and Trossard, of course. There is the other news about Eze, that Fabrizio Romano, massive update from Fabrizio Romano, that Eze is excited by the Arsenal project. A lot of people have said that where is Rodrygo gonna, when is Eze gonna play? He knows his position. He's gonna maybe play in the left or in the middle. I'm sure he spoke with Arteta because it is said that the Gunners have started talking to talk about the conditions of the deal. That means they spoke with the players' camp. They spoke with the player, and the player is accepting the move to Arsenal, even though no one can guarantee he must start at Arsenal. And it is reported by David Ornstein yesterday that that is separate from the winger deal, which might be separate from the Rodrygo deal that Arsenal are trying to pursue. So he might come in as a midfielder, not even as an attacker, because they are still talking about Noni Madueke being a backup for Saka. Noni Madueke, I believe, they will not accept like that he's battling with Saka, because we know that Mikel Arteta does not bench Saka whatsoever. Mikel Arteta plays Saka every time he's fit, every time he has legs. Even if he's on one leg, Mikel Arteta will play him, because Saka basically is the catalyst of Arsenal. I believe at the current moment, he is Arsenal's best player. So that is Noni Madueke. For Eze, he might be presented with an argument that you can come in and battle for the left side. If Rice plays at the DM with Zubamendi, they rotate, I don't know. But maybe Eze has a clear plan with Mikel Arteta. We don't know about that. But it looks like Arsenal are adding depth to their team. And that is what Arsenal need. Because everyone is talking about, why don't Arsenal add depth? And when they start trying to do this, everyone is saying, where are you going to fit all these players? How are you going to convince them to come to your club? You just said, a lot of rivals said that Arsenal need to add depth and quality depth to be able to battle for the Premier League. All we have to talk about is the budget. Can Arsenal actually balance this, all these players and all these wages? They're going to spend over 200 million if they sign all these players with Eze, Gyökeres, and Rodrygo. That, if I'm not mistaken, that is over 200 million pounds. Now, can Arsenal spend that? It is reported that Arsenal can spend that money. Of course, they let go of Partey, they let go of Jorginho. They are trying to sell Kivior, and they are trying to sell Zinchenko as well. And maybe Martinelli might be offloaded to Saudi Arabia if an offer comes in. I know that Martinelli has said that he wants to stay at the club. But again, Arsenal might not go in the next season with three wingers on the left. That is too much for them to actually give minutes to everyone. But clearly, Arsenal want to make the moves. There is a wait. I don't know why there is a wait for Arsenal, but at the same time, we have to actually see what Arsenal do. Are they trying to get the best price? And but Eze, one of the things about Eze's situation is that you can pay the money in installments, and that is what everyone is saying. Installments, 20 million pounds a year for the next 3 years, plus 8 add-on. That is not a lot of money at all for a player of that quality. And that quality is what Arsenal needs. So Rodrygo, Gyökeres, Eze, and I believe Norgard, Kepa as well, Mosquera. I think, in my opinion, that will make it a 10 out of 10 window. It doesn't get better than this. If anyone says, oh, because Party left, this and that, Party left because they didn't want to pay him more money when he's 32 years old and he's injury prone. They didn't want to pay him 250K a week. So that would be a 10 out of 10 window. Are you optimistic if you're an Arsenal fan? If you're a rival fan, are you scared of Arsenal? Are you putting Arsenal as title favorite? As we did a show yesterday, and some people suggested that if Arsenal sign these players, they become favorites to win the Premier League. Unless Liverpool sign Isak, any other striker, they would put Arsenal ahead as favorites. I disagree with this. I think Liverpool, with the quality of Salah and Van Dijk and Wirtz coming in, they're still favorites to win the league. If they add any striker, Ikitike, they add Osimhen, they add whoever, I believe that they're going to be favorites. But Arsenal will give themselves the best chance, actually, if they sign these players. Is that squad good enough? You let me know in the comment section. Make sure to hit that like button and let me know. Is that squad good enough to win the league? What happens if they don't sign Rodrygo or Eze? You let me know what you guys want and what you guys think they will do if they don't sign one of them. Do they think the Gyökeres deal continue? That is what I want to know. And we'll see what happens. But the news are positive for Arsenal at the current moment, with all these players that they are linked to, all the players that have Arsenal as their main destination, like Eze, like Gyokeres, who's waiting for Arsenal. We'll see we'll see what happens with the Rodrygo situation. You let me know in the comment section, and I will see you guys later on the live show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys later.